this is Liz from People I Think Are Cool, a bi-weekly podcast where I interview my favorite creatives from across the globe. If you're looking for a dose of creative inspiration, then go to peopleithinkarecool.com or subscribe to People I Think Are Cool on iTunes and Stitcher.
You like film, from cult to classic, from blockbuster to B-movies. And there just isn't that one place with all the fan fervor and passion that's covering the kind of mad, diverse brilliance that you love.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
AfterMovieDiner.com is that fan-built movie nirvana just for you, featuring the sweet, sweet writings of the wife dork herself. AfterMovieDiner.com. Go there. Be the best you can be.
You guys look like... What do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
Get those nerds! Nerds!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What? Are you kidding? We got us a family here.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
You are listening to the In the Mouth of Dorkness podcast, the official podcast of the Alamo Drafthouse, Winchester.
Welcome to another edition of the It Modcast podcast. Joining me is Brian Young.
God, I love being a turtle!
The Turtle Dork.
Your move, creep.
And I'm your host, Darren Smith.
Warm. Warmer. Disco.
The Disco Dork. And I'm wearing chaps, which are vests for your legs. And welcome to another edition of the It Modcast podcast.
Chaps, which are vest for your leg. What movie was that from?
Lego Movie 2. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you didn't say you were going to do that.
So Rex wears a vest, and Emmett wears a vest, right? And
okay.
They're like, oh, we have that in common. And Rex goes, and I also wear chaps, which are basically vests for your legs.
That's been pretty kind of funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of clever, too. That's true.
So that's but I tell you what, I don't wear chaps or leg vests at all. So I don't even wear regular vests. But you should wear some chaps. Bruh, how was your weekend doing? Look, we got...
You should go out right now where you live, up here in Oxon Hill.
You trying to get me shot at. Look, wife dork and mouth dork unfortunately can't be with us because I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, that they have the unfortunate task of being stuck at Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah, it's a hard life, man.
So thoughts and prayers go out to them. We will be starting a GoFundMe campaign to help them or help us get through that because we're not having any fun watching multiple new unreleased movies yet.
Exactly. So any funds will help go to this cause.
Yes. I'll at the end of the episode I'll post my Cash App so you can help us out. Anyway, we're trying to still maintain some semblance of a normal geek life.
Yeah, man.
So how was your weekend dork? How have you been holding up with the absence of your two dorks?
Pretty good. It's been kind of fun and torturous watching them on social media, seeing all these different films, and also just following Sundance in general, but knowing that they are there.
You have to do like me. Don't look. I ain't been on Twitter in like...
I want to support them. I love my fellow dorks, and I want to support them, and they're seeing some great films that hopefully we'll be able to see later this year.
Yeah.
But, I can't help but to smile, but yet have a bit of a tinge of sadness, knowing that I'm not there. But I don't miss that cold weather, even though we got enough cold weather on the East Coast.
No, but they got cold weather.
Yeah, I know.
I saw a picture Brad posted. Them was wearing a sweater. I ain't never seen
I know, right?
And I'm not talking about a hoodie. That don't count. No, I'm talking about a knitted sweater.
Yes.
I was like, fuck, is it? First of all, I was like, because that ain't even a front shot. It's like the profile, like almost towards the back.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Brad? That's not Brad, because that man, whoever that is wearing a sweater. Brad don't wear sweaters. Well, guess what? Sundance and that weather will, I guess, make your ass wear a sweater.
Yeah, you're right. It will. So it's been kind of fun, watching their adventures over in Salt Lake City, and so for me, I haven't really watched too much this week, but a little bit I do want to talk about is the Oscar nominations. I'll try to talk as as much as I can about them without being too, I don't want to say upset, but what I'll say about
you're going to try to be very diplomatic about it?
I'll try to be diplomatic, yes. But the Oscar nominations came out on Tuesday, and normally for the YouTube channel, I'll put out a little editorial video kind of giving a lot of people my thoughts about the Oscars. And I've done that the past 2 years where I put up a couple of editorial videos.
You didn't do that this year?
Nah.
Why? Because you didn't have time, or you're not going to?
I just decided because honestly, man, this year's crop of films, it's boring. It's very, very boring. Yeah. Outside of a few nominations that I'm excited for, which are films that I personally kind of love and been rooting for, movies like Black Klansman and Black Panther, Into the Spider-Verse, movies like that, I'm extremely, extremely excited for. But there's been a lot of snubs and a couple of snubs I want to talk about, which one is Best Documentary, where we didn't get a nomination for Won't You Be My Neighbor. Yeah,
man.
So which is kind of weird. So give me a second. Let me see if I can find Best Documentary. See, I got Best Documentary Short. So Once You Be My Neighbor got snubbed, and I think that was the one that a lot of people were expecting to kind of be, without a doubt, be in the Best Documentary. So we have Free Solo, which I heard was a really, really good documentary film that was also done. Those directors did the movie Maru that we saw at Lost Weekend.
Oh, yeah. Them motherfuckers love dangerous, shooting shit on mountains where they should really be. Okay, that documentary was harrowing.
And I don't know if you've seen Free Solo, but this is one that a lot of people say you need to see in IMAX.
Brad saw it, but I don't know if he saw it in IMAX, but Brad saw it.
Okay, so you know about it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saying people should definitely check that out in IMAX. Hale County this evening. Not familiar with that. Fathers and Sons, I'm not familiar with that. Minding the Gap, people have been talking about, and RBG, of course, people have been talking about.
Who makes a cameo in Lego Movie 2? Wife Dork. I thought you should know that. RBG.
Oh shit! For really?
Yeah.
Okay.
John McClane makes a cameo. I'm sorry, Bruce Willis as John McClane makes a cameo in Lego Movie 2.
Oh man, okay.
And it's great.
Now I'm on board. But Won't You Be My Neighbor, which I thought, now I haven't seen a lot of documentaries, and Three Identical Strangers, which a lot of people, those were like the two documentaries people were talking about a lot. And the fact that neither one of those was nominated for Best Documentary in the Oscars, I think is a crying shame. Another one was Best Director, where we didn't get a nomination for Bradley Cooper. He's around the awards festival circuit with the last couple of months. He's been getting nominations, the DGA, everywhere. I think even the Globes and some other places, but he did not get a nom. And the movie Cold War, Pawlikowski, I think his name is. See if I can pull this one up. Pawlikowski for Cold War. Now, Cold War is a movie that has been a highly regarded film, a foreign language film, but nobody's seen this movie, and a lot of people are saying, well, how can you? And I like A Star Is Born. I know some people may be kind of on the fence with A Star Is Born, but I thought Bradley Cooper did a really good job directing that movie, especially the first half of that movie, the first act of that movie. I like how the movie takes its time and it really draws you into these two characters to really establish that love story, so that it could kind of propel you into the second half of the movie, which moves a little bit faster. But I love the slow pace and the slow burn of that movie, and I thought the way he directed A Star Is Born was great. And granted, I don't know if he necessarily should win, but I definitely thought that Bradley Cooper should have been nominated for at least Best Director, especially when you look at movies like Vice. I don't know. Have you seen Vice?
No, not. I'll get around to it. For some reason, I just ain't. I don't know, man. And you know what? That movie might be great, but just where I am and where I've been, it just ain't been my bag, man.
I hear you. Yeah, because Adam McKay was nominated, and I mean, it's just, for me, Vice is kind of similar to The Big Short, and I think, honestly, it's well directed, but I think Adam McKay over directs that movie. Like he just does too much that you don't need to tell the story. He uses a lot of these different visualizations and the way he likes to do cutaways and certain certain aesthetics that he uses that I'm just like, okay, to me, I think it could kind of become a little distracting. But again, I just think, this kind of gets to what I kind of want to get into. I enjoyed the Oscars because we talked a little bit about this off camera, how the fact that for me, whether or not the movies that I liked or the movies I think should be nominated and should be praised as some of the best films of the year, I enjoy the Oscars because it's a celebration of film, regardless of what movies are nominated. But I see a lot of people on social media really kind of up in arms, not just about some of the movies that have been snubbed, but about some of the movies that have been nominated. And it's weird. We always hear about backlash with movies, and it's weird for me, and it's actually I don't want to say pisses me off, but the fact that a movie like Black Panther lately, especially among the comic nerds, has been getting a lot of backlash because the fact that this movie has been nominated for 7 Oscars. Is it deserving of a Best Picture? In my opinion, I think it is. And it's so crazy that every time somebody talks about Black Panther, they always have to go to the third act visual effects. But for me, like, this movie speaks on so many. I talked about it in our Dorkies. Like, Black Panther speaks to so many different themes, whether it's colonialism, tribalism, the African American experience, and how it relates to our relationship to the continent of Africa. All these different themes, and this is just a bigger thing that I always have an issue with, is like how people will just take one instance of a movie and have that be an indictment of the whole movie. Okay, we all know that there's good and bad things about a film. Yes, the visual effects are not that great, but like I said, you can't let something like that discount everything else that Ryan Coogler and what that movie is trying to say. For me, and maybe for somebody else, that can take somebody out of it, or maybe they just want to focus on that. But I don't know, I'm just hearing this uproar of people like having this backlash towards Black Panther, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just kind of, it bothers me to a degree. So I don't know. And then you see movies like Green Book, which we talk about all the movies in 2018, whether it's Blind Spotting, Black Klansman, Sorry to Bother You, The Hate You Give, that are really pushing the envelope and giving you this angry version of our experiences of racism. But then you have this movie Green Book that, to me, is basically the white version. It's the movie about racism that makes white people feel better about themselves. That's the way I look at it. And I like Green Book. I mean, I gave Green Book a favorable score on Letterboxd, but Best Picture worthy for me? No. And if that movie wins Best Picture over movies like Black Panther or Black Klansman that's nominated, I think that's just a slap in the face to the cinema that we've seen in 2018. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that's so. I just didn't feel like doing a video talking about the Oscar nominations because it's the same old movies.
That's
that we've
understandable.
seen.
Like,
yeah.
why would you want to sit in front of a camera for 5-10 minutes and just be bummed out?
Yeah, and then and Bohemian Rhapsody getting Best Picture nomination.
That's nuts to me.
It's crazy. And if you listen to our Weekend Dork and our review cast about Bohemian Rhapsody, we go into depth about some of the issues with that film. Now, I will say this. I like the movie probably a little bit better than you and maybe Mouth Dork and Wife Dork. Yeah. But as far as when it comes to Oscar nominations, that movie has no place being in a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the film just fine, with its flaws and all. But come on, man. Yeah. Like, come on.
It doesn't break any type of new ground when you're talking about biopics. It does nothing revolutionary. Yeah. It's not even... I don't even think it fully... as far as Freddie Mercury, like, even fully laying out, like, who he truly was and what was going on. Like, I don't even think it does that.
It doesn't do that in a good way. And I understand that with based on true stories and biopics that people will take liberties. Yeah. And I'm fully aware of that. And a lot of times I'm okay with that. So that's not really one of my biggest criticisms about the film. Really, it's just about how they kind of gloss over certain aspects of Freddie Mercury, or as far as how they portray it on film. It just feels lazy to me. So I don't know, man. It's just, this year, and we were talking about it before. Like, we talk about somebody like Toni Collette, who a lot of people.
When was the last time you rewatched? I was gonna say, when was the last time you rewatched Hereditary? But I just watched it like a.
I saw your letterbox. Yeah, I saw
oh
your
my god,
man!
Yeah.
She's awesome in the movie, but I understand, and I know we talked about it. Like, Oscar nominations and this whole Oscar season, it's all about campaigning, and so a lot of the stuff that is some of the best performances or are some of the best movies aren't really going to be recognized because some of the studios, which for Hereditary, which is A24, they're not going to put the money behind a campaign to either push for that film or push for Toni Collette to try to receive an Oscar nomination. Yeah. Even though people will say that she probably has given one of the best performances of the year, which I do agree. And I'm not taking anything away from the people that have been nominated, because I think some of the lead actresses do give some great performances. But Toni Collette should have been in those conversations leading up to the nominations to at least let voters know, look, you guys need to check out this performance. But like I said, I understand it's about campaigning, so I'm not going to bitch and complain about certain actors or certain movies not getting nominated, because we just did our Game of Thrones rewatch, so I got this on the brain. Like, I know how the game is played, you know, and it's all about playing the game. And certain studios, certain movies, certain actors know how to play the game to get themselves in front of Oscar voters. So
that's the part about the Oscars that I give zero shits about, or that turns me off from the entire thing, is the politics of it. Like, I just don't. I'm just not with that. And so I enjoy, like, when the time comes around, I enjoy the get-togethers. Shout out to the Sears. I will be over there. I'm gonna try to make it. But I enjoy that, and I enjoy their excitement of it. Brad and Lisa's excitement of it, making the list and all that stuff. And the predictions. Oh man, did we do? We can do we gotta do an Oscar episode, right?
Yeah, we'll probably have to do that when they get back.
Yeah. So and I enjoy his excitement and your excitement over it. But if you notice, I don't know if you notice, like, year after year, when that time comes around and we're doing that, I'm never like, oh, I can't wait to tell you my picks. I hardly say shit.
Well, you're never like that. I mean, that's just not your MO. Like, even when we do our dorkies,
or even when I'm excited to do it though. But like, I've never. If you go back historically, you might notice, like, I'm because at the end of the day, like, the most I've been invested in the Academy Awards was the year Fury Road was nominated. Yeah. That's before that, leading up to that, my discussions around it was minimal, and even after that, it's my discussions around it are minimal because of the bureaucracy and the politics of it. Yeah. But I enjoy getting together and talking about the movies,
and that's what I love about it. It's how it just breeds conversation, and it keeps the conversation about movies going. Whether it's movies that you love or hate, it keeps the conversation going. And I enjoy the Oscars, and I root for certain films and certain actors. But honestly, but like me personally, I don't hold any weight to it. I mean, I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not making these movies. Yeah. But it doesn't hold any weight for me, because once the Oscars are over, I'm getting ready for summertime and all the big blockbusters coming out. And then when fall comes, I'm into a lot of the indies and some of the more dramas that could be nominated for Oscars and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm in the cycle of the fandom of just loving movies. And this is just one part of my love for movies. It's just kind of getting excited about the Oscars. But for this particular year, for me, I just think these crop of films is just kind of business as usual. It's just kind of boring, kind of everything we expected.
It's with the progression, when we made some progress, but not nearly enough. But with the progress that we have made, it still continually angers me when you say it doesn't bother you as far as like when certain films or actors get snubbed, and I get that and I understand it. But when there's still, it's 2019, and when there's still females, directors, actors, writers, all that are getting snubbed, not nominated, when there are movies directed by females that are getting snubbed. To me, that bothers me when there's a lack of representation, minorities, or all that when it comes to nomination. And I'm not saying that that's happening this year, but period.
Yeah,
overall, those are the things that keep me from being happy. I can't be 100% excited during this time of celebrations because there are people who are poorly represented or not represented at all.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to champion this award ceremony when this award ceremony has been biased historically, like since its inception.
And that's an interesting thing too, because I think as the crop of films grows and as minorities and people of color and women start to get more opportunities to make quality films that can be looked at as awards contenders, then I think we'll start to see, and as the voting body starts to change in the Oscars,
definitely needs to happen.
Which has happened because they've inducted, or they've had a lot of new members over the last couple of years. That have had more women and more people of color. I think we're going to start to see that seat change as years start to go on. And it's interesting too because we talked about Brad and Lisa being down in Sundance. I saw on social media Tessa Thompson has started this thing called the 4% Challenge, where she challenges a lot of her colleagues that they will work with a female director at least once within the next 18 months. And so she's challenged a lot of people, and some people have gotten on board. I think there's been some other actors. I can't remember the other actor. Armie Hammer has vowed to do that. And so there's a lot of people on board that are saying, like, look, within the next 18 months, we're going to work with a female director. And I think that's going to start to, like, give us more content, or at least... It's more about equaling the playing field, and it's not about this idea of trying to take over or take control or take something away from white people or white male directors or whatever the case may be.
It's about equal representation.
Exactly, and it's about having equal footing and being able to get the same
equal recognition for people's talents and contributions.
Exactly. But I know sometimes, like when we see, a lot of people who fight against that, it just feels like it's that whole idea of like, oh, well, you're trying to take this away from me. When it's not trying to take anything away from anybody, it's the idea of, like, we just want to be seen in the same light. And I like the fact that Tessa Thompson put that challenge out there, the 4% challenge, and I hope majority of actors and actresses decide to work with a female director within the next 18 months. So I think all these different things are right steps to getting that type of equality in Hollywood, and now we just need to do it for the rest of the world. Didn't want to go to that tangent, but nonetheless, the Oscar nominations are boring.
Damn. All right, what else you do? You watch anything on TV, Netflix, rewatches?
Nah, man. Outside of just us doing our Game of Thrones recap,
how you feel about that?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving the new thing that we're doing, because initially we were going to do our reactions, and that didn't kind of go that as the way I planned for it for season 1. But we're pretty much almost done with season 2, and we're going into season 3. Hopefully, we can get it all done by the time season 8 starts April 14th.
We will.
I'm confident that we will. But man, it's been a lot of fun rewatching these episodes. And then like we talked about how certain scenes play on rewatch and how they play differently. And
completely different.
Yeah, completely different, man. And yeah, dog, it's been a lot of fun, man. So I'm editing those. They're up on the channel. Definitely check that out at Mindcast on YouTube. And so that's pretty much all I've been up to. Going to try to catch up on some movies. A lot of Netflix movies, a lot of movies on Prime. The Kid Who Would Be King. I'm hearing great things about that movie.
Man, I had a ticket when I left. When I got out, I was about to go from Lego 2 to that movie. I had the ticket bought, but
for real, you didn't go see it?
Nah, man. So I don't know what it is.
I have the same feeling about the movie too, but I'm hearing great things, so I'm like, let me just go ahead and. But that's the great thing about cinema, man. It's like movies you aren't expecting to be good, or movies that you're not looking forward to. You go and you watch it, and you can be pleasantly surprised. You're like, oh shit, that was actually pretty.
And that's most likely what's going to happen if what everybody's saying. And I'm not again. But the thing was, me not seeing it yesterday wasn't. You know what? I'm not going to watch this movie at all ever. It wasn't that. It was just, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch Lego Movie 2. but I'm gonna watch The Boy Who Would Be King so that I could use that for my Weekend Dork. Talk about that on my Weekend Dork.
Got you.
But then I was like, all right, maybe I'll save it for another Weekend Dork or something like that. Because I just don't know. I pictured myself in the theater watching the movie with what I've seen from the trailer, and I was like, I'm trying to picture myself like enjoying that. And my right mind knows, well, Darren, there's a whole hour, hour and 47 minutes that you haven't seen of good stuff potentially, and I get that, but I don't know, just that mood yesterday. I was just like, do I want to go run some errands or take care of some, editing stuff, or do I want to watch this movie? So I folded, but I'm gonna watch the movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it because
I have those decisions to make too. It's like, do I want to see this movie or do I want to go home and
go to sleep
and make a sandwich? Yeah.
Damn, dog. I had a choice of editing and taking care of some shit. You talking about making a sandwich?
Yeah, I call that editing too.
Oh man. So yeah, if you see that before me, let me know. What you thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out though. I'm gonna check it out
this week.
Yeah. I'll probably try to check it out this week.
Cause what come out Friday?
Man, Miss Bala.
Who?
Miss. the movie with Genesis Rodriguez when she gets I
don't have a microphone to hide behind, but I'm hiding behind my laptop right now. You can't see.
So yeah, I'll be seeing The Kid Who Would Be King.
Friday, right? You're not gonna go see Miss Bala?
I may go see that. I still got my Cinemia, I can, it ain't hurting my pockets too.
And that's the bad part. That's the bad part. My ticket for The Boy Who Would Be King, that was my A-list stuff. So it wasn't like I paid for it. I paid for it in the subscription sense, but it wouldn't have cost me that. I don't know. I'm gonna see it though. I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out. But yeah, that's my Weekend Dork for this past week.
All right. You should have, but when you get a chance this week, check out that Fire documentary on Netflix. I did catch that this week.
I want to see that.
Mouth Dork talked about it on last week in Dork, and he was everything that he was saying. He wasn't lying. That's all in that documentary. It's fascinating. It can be, I don't want to say infuriating because I'm so far removed from the people in that situation that I ain't necessarily infuriated. I do sympathize with everyone who is affected to the utmost. That guy did them people so dirty. Wrong. So many people.
Yeah, I haven't seen the documentary, but I've read the story, and especially now that these two documentaries have come out, man, hearing about that one lady who owned a restaurant and was giving food to people and how she went bankrupt and in so much debt for basically giving food to so many people to help people.
No. What she did was she had a catering business. She had her people, her workers, feed all the Fire Festival people. She took all of her savings and paid her workers.
Yeah, that's right.
She paid her workers because she didn't want her workers to go unpaid because the Fire Festival didn't pay them. They were supposed to, but they didn't.
And then she's never got reimbursed for going into her savings to pay her workers, and now she's...
I will say there's a silver lining to that particular story.
Oh, it is.
She did not get paid from Billy, the guy who scammed everybody, but the story got out because of the documentary, and as we do now, typically a GoFundMe was set up, nice. So she was given.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'm happy about that, but because that's the one story that stood out to me, and I just felt so bad for that lady.
Yeah, I still feel bad for her, even though she got.
But that's great that people came to her aid.
Yeah. So we the humanity, yay, one for humanity, score one for humanity. I did see that. Like I said, I went and saw Lego Movie Part 2 or the second part or whatever it's called. And I did enjoy that. I'm not going to spoil it because it was an advanced screening, so that comes out for everyone else in a couple of weeks.
You had me at Die Hard, John McClane, so
man.
I'm on board. Because I was a little skeptical about that movie. Because I don't know, it's been so long since the last Lego movie, and I just kind of gone away, like the anticipation and the build up to it. I'm just like, I just don't feel it. Mm-hmm. But I'll check it out. And like you said, just John McClane Lego version. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's a Ruth Bader Ginsburg Lego in it. Cheryl Swoop Lego is in it.
Oh, shit.
There's a bunch of Legos in there.
Okay.
I want to say Gary Payton is a Lego in it. But anyway, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it, and you should check it out, B. Nice. I think there's some enjoyment to be had. They don't retread the same thing in the first movie.
All right, that's good.
They do the theme of it, the story, the moral of the story is different from the first movie, and they play with a lot of things from the first film, like the Everything Is Awesome, like how that just became this, headache of a tune that you just couldn't get out of your head. So the new Everything Is Awesome in this movie is called Catchy. I think it's called Catchy Song or Catchy Tune, and the hook is literally this song you won't be able to get out of your head. But it's good though. But there's a callback to Everything Is Awesome that ends the film that is awesome. So I will say that. But anyway, there's joy to be had in it. So check it out. But what I do want to talk about is a Netflix film called Polar, starring Madds Mikelson. Netflix, man, they've been doing their thing. Say what you will about the quality of some of their content, but they're just cranking all of these different projects out. Yeah. And I say that to say, I was initially going to talk about a recap a Netflix show called Kingdom that is currently newly released, and it is a Korean period piece / zombie / or undead. I don't know what they're quantifying these things as, but there's the undead involved, and the quality of that show is great. I watched a few minutes of it, and I stopped and said, you know what? I'm going to wait for Turtle Dork. We got to watch this together and do a recap a la our Game of Thrones recap. So instead of watching that, I watched Polar. Stars Madds Mikelson. Vanessa Hudgens is in it. And basically, it is your hitman who is about to retire, and he meets a young person, girl or whatever, or someone that makes him, the whole heart of gold type thing. Yeah. But they take that concept and I don't want to say skewer it, they embellish it so much that it elevates it from feeling stereotypical. And part of it has to do with Vanessa Hudgens and her character and how she plays that character. I only know of her from, I know she's done films, but my familiarity, the most of it comes from Spring Breakers.
That's right.
I've watched that movie like countless times, and that's where I've seen her at. She's a totally different character, the character she plays in this movie is totally different from the one in Spring Breakers. But as far as an actor, basically I'm saying I've never really taken her that serious. And I just mean like she had never done anything that stood out to me to make me go, oh my goodness, I want to watch her just as much as I want to watch Toni Collette. You know what I'm saying? But what she does in this film with her character, I found incredibly moving, like surprisingly moving. Okay. So basically, Madds Mikelson works for this organization, and this organization, it's an organization of assassins, right? So like a league of hitmen, right? Yeah. But when you turn 50 years old, you basically age out of the program, right? And so once you turn 50, you got to retire and collect your pension. So while you're in, you contribute a certain percentage, and then the organization matches your contributions or whatever. Yeah. So when Madds, on the eve of his 50th birthday, he's talking to the organization accountant. And this is one of the things that the movie does. Tonally, I want to say, let me start off with that. Tonally, the movie feels like it's right alongside of, it's like a mixture of Oliver Stone's Savages and Smoking Aces, and just the way that it's shot, the vibrant colors, the saturated colors, the way that they use title cards, and the way it's edited. It's like it's this real plucky, funky vibe to it, like almost like I won't go so far as like say Kingsman vibe, but it's touching Kingsman level of heightened reality.
Yeah, Smoking Aces is a good. That gives me a good idea of what the tone and the visualization of this movie could be. Cause, there's
a meanness to this film. And I say that because Smoking Aces, you have some of your comedy, but you have like some really rough and gnarly violence in that movie. Motherfucker sat on a running chainsaw. You got the ADHD kid, like you got that type of comedy. But, juxtaposed with the Taraji P. Henson's powerful dramatic moment. Yeah. And so you have all these different elements, and all of that is in Polar. It's like that. It's like when the violence comes, this shit is nuts. Okay. Like, I'm talking about nuts. Yeah, sometimes they do CGI blood hits, but some of those shits, I think, was real squib hits. but then just the way that people are dispatched. So
okay.
Madds Mikelson worked for this organization. On the eve of his 50th birthday, he's going to make the rounds, doing his physical, his retirement physical. And I think all this physical stuff and the finance, his finance appointments, I think that's all within like the organization. They have like a finance department, they have a health department, because they know when you're getting ready to retire, like, all right, you need to check out and get checked out. So anyway, he's doing his rounds. He finds out, all right, at the finance department, well, in 2 weeks, once you turn 50, because of the contributions you made and what we will match, you look like we're going to owe you $8 million something blah 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 dollars, right?
Okay.
So in 14 days, when his birthday comes and he retires, he's getting this $8 million, right? This company, unbeknownst to Madds Mikkelson's character, let me do my due diligence and give you his name. In the film, his character is Duncan Visla. So unbeknownst to Duncan, this organization, the reason why they're able to stay afloat, and they're in, there's a scene where they're having a meeting with some investors or other people or business partners, potential business partners, and they're like, yo, you're in debt $29 million. Why? And then your books say in a month you won't be in debt no more. Like, what's up with that? So basically what happens is when you turn 50, you age out of the program.
Yeah.
The money that they owe you, there's a clause in your contract that if something were to happen to you, the organization is the beneficiary and they get the money. So what
back.
they do is when you turn 50 on your eve of your 50th birthday, they send the younger assassin to come take your heads out, right?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of when you were describing that, and that was also in the trailer, because I remember doing that in my trailer reaction. It kind of reminded me of Looper a little bit.
Yeah. Except there's no time traveling. But that's if you wanted this movie to be like to go over the top, you just do time traveling. That movie would have been Smoking Aces Part 3 or whatever, right? So anyway, he says, all right, I'm about to retire. I'm going to go to the Midwest or somewhere and retire to this cabin on the lake, this wintry cabin on the lake. I think it was Wisconsin or somewhere. And he goes there, and so the movie kind of slows down because the movie opens up with Johnny Knoxville. He just retired. He's about to retire.
He's in it?
In the opening, for the moment. He's about to retire. He's poolside. He's getting this nice little service from his lady friend, who is one of the assassins, unbeknownst to him, and they come and take him out.
They age him up because he ain't 50.
Is he? You sure he not?
I don't think he's 50. I mean, look, he's our age and we're 40. We're in our early 40s.
He looked, I don't know, he's been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackass, a season of Jackass will put some age on you. You know what I'm saying? So I bought it. Anyway, it was just, I was like, oh, Johnny Knoxville, he's still getting work. And the scene is not out of place. You know, he feels right in that scene, right? So that sets the tone of the film and sets, okay, this is what happens, right? But you don't know that's why he died. You just think that, oh man, this guy just got killed by this hit team.
Got you. Okay.
So after that, it kind of slows down and establishes that Václav is about to retire. He gets his physical. That even opens up with him getting a freaking colonoscopy, like a prostate exam. I love Madds Mikelson. That dude is not vain at all. He is not vain at all. You see that he lays on the table. I mean, he's facing you. The doctor's behind him. When you see him pull his britches down and everything, the dude puts the glove on. Continues to have a normal conversation, but don't talk to me while you got your finger in my butt, man, doctor. Dude.
That's to distract you and to get you comfortable. So when they take the finger,
I guess, man, just tell me breathe and relax or something. Don't talk to me. Act like this. No, this is not normal what you're doing to me, man. So anyway, that day you have that scene. He goes to the finance office and then he goes and says, "All right, I'm gonna wait out these last 14 days on this lake on the cabin, right?" Okay. And it's a very small town, and he goes into a shop and he sees Vanessa Hudgens' character, Camille, and doesn't say anything, just notices her struggling a bit or whatever. And then he goes back to his cabin. One day he's out there picking up and he sees across the lake, Vanessa Hudgens' Camille has the cabin on the other side of the lake and she's struggling to chop wood. Okay. She didn't really see him at that moment, but he sees her and he's just like, okay. And so he would do nice things for her unanimously. Like he went over there after she left and chopped the wood. They show her leave. Okay. And when she comes back, the wood's chopped. She's like, what the fuck? And so he would just do that, right? You're like, okay. And one thing I like about his character in the film is that he doesn't come across as, he's not Leon. He doesn't walk into places and when people speak to him, hey, he's just that silent, brooding hitman. Doesn't say, he talks to, he's a pleasant person. He's a nice person, actually. and which I found different and refreshing about this particular type of character.
Because like, normally you don't see characters like that who are like hitmen or assassins.
Yeah, he'll walk into a store and you'll be like, "Hey, how you doing, sir?" And in normal movies, he'll just ignore the fuck out of you, right? You're like, "Well, damn." Yeah. But in this one, he's not like that. He converses with people, and he has a heart of gold before he even meets her, right? Yeah. Sort of, right? And so, every once in a while, you get these flashbacks with him when you'll see him in the cabin, just trying to start this retirement life. He'll have flashbacks of like, and this is where the Tony Scott, the Oliver Stone Savages, and the Tony Scott stuff come in. Is that he'll have these flashbacks of this incident, and you don't know what it is because these images are those acid drenched, oversaturated, like quick cuts, like rapid, some crazy shit happening type thing. Yeah. And then he'll snap out of it. So something traumatic happened that he's still holding on to. So there's that trope in the film, right? The revelation of that comes at the very end, and that shit is, maybe it was because I was late. I didn't see that shit coming, the way that it came, the way that it was presented. But I was like, damn, I was moved by it. But anyway, so he's doing that, and he eventually ends up talking to her. They bump into each other because it's a small town, and then they just started, not really hanging out, but he finds out she's into photography, so they meet at a coffee shop every once in a while, and she show her pictures, and so they ended up getting closer, but not in a way like, not in a sexual way or anything like that. Yeah. But just, he just was an interesting person. She, not even, she needs my help or whatever, but if she could use my help, okay, cool. If she could use conversation, okay, cool. It really comes across as that, right? Mm-hmm. But then we get back into like the other side, the organization, the assassins. The dude wants this deal to go through, so he needs this $29 million. So y'all got to kill this dude. Yeah, to get that money. There's a lady who works as an advisor, sort of, and she's like, "Yo, I know this guy. You need to just pay him and not have to worry about looking over your shoulder the rest of your life. Please, just my advice, your scheme, your plot right now, it's ill-advised. I think it's a bad idea." Dude,
a bad idea to kill Madds Mikelson?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, so basically what they do is every time someone ages out, they kill them all the time, right? Yeah. Every time. So he's like, all right, well, it's just our due diligence. We're going to just business as usual and continue to do that. But the lady's like, yo, I don't think you should do that because this dude is a bad MF and I ill-advise it. But the guys, his hubris, and the main bad guy, that character, he's like the most, as far as like direct correlation to like Smoking Aces, like those wacky characters. Yeah. He's the pinnacle. His name is Blute. It's played by Matt Lucas. He kind of reminds me of Sam Jackson's character from The Kingsman in that he's really eccentric, like his outfit, his hair, and the way he talks. And he's the most over the top in the film. But the assassins that he has under his that work for him that are going to find Duncan Visla, they're kind of a close correlation to Smoking Aces as well, because Smoking Aces had that cartoonish cast of assassins, and you kind of have that too. Nothing so specific as like Laszlo Sloop being able to like be a chameleon and change, but just they all look different. Like the one chick she always has on leather, and she has no eyebrows, and she has like asymmetric like makeup, whether it be a fake red eyebrow or a smear on the other side of her eye. Like she always has this asymmetric, weird, quirky look to her. You got this one girl, the younger girl, who was with Johnny Knoxville, who was just she's the sex distraction. Okay. Like she's the femme fatale. She'll distract you with her sex or her body. Meanwhile, the other assassins come up and take you out, right? And then there's this guy who his thing is he has a sniper rifle. He's a sniper and he dresses weird. And so there's an Irish dude, a redhead dude. He wears like tracksuits and gold chains or a gold chain. So anyway, you have those characters, but the main guy, Blue, we follow up with him, and he's trying to get this money. So just get Duncan. So really, it's all right. Duncan's retiring. I got to kill him before he retires so I can get the money. Meanwhile, Duncan's trying to live his best life and maybe make a new friend in Camille. Yeah, that's really it, right? But as they move in closer to him, they come across these people who may know where he is, and this I'm going back to the violence now, man. When they come to question you, hey, I'm interrogating you. I heard you know where Duncan lives. You were in charge of his books. You did his finances. Where is he at? They're beating the pulp. They're beating the pulp out of this dude, and then like whenever they go to someone and before they leave, that person is murdered. And when they're murdered, I'm not talking about like just put a bullet in his head or whatever. Like they brutal. Like the violence in this movie was, I gotta say, it was shocking. Not in that I've never seen violence like this. I just didn't expect this level of violence from this movie. Right?
Yeah.
It's more violent than Smoking Aces.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, by a margin. And so
wow.
That was one thing that stuck out to me. But I don't want to spoil the movie, but I will say like when like Vanessa Hudgens' character, who she ultimately turns out to be and how she plays that scene, how they both play that scene. For her to be able to hold her own in the scene with Madds Mikelson, who is a seasoned veteran, a seasoned actor. Absolutely. He's a great actor. For her to hold her own with him is a testament to her acting ability. She's great. Okay. She just hasn't maybe been getting a lot of scripts or the best scripts or whatever, but she can, if she gets a good script or an opportunity, she can do some work with it. And I'm not saying like her performance in this movie elevates or compensates for other things in the film that may be issues or problematic, but her part when to show up, what she was supposed to do when she was on set, she showed up. She did what she was supposed to do.
That's good. That's good to hear. I mean, you hear about these kids, because she comes from like High School Musical. You hear about these kids that come from like these Disney shows or High School Musical. Like you look at Zac Efron,
I was just thinking about him.
Yeah, who just did the movie at Sundance. Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
So like if you give these people, I mean, they're actors for a reason. They're professional actors for a reason. So not just because of where they started from, but if you give these kids a chance, especially as they grow older and become more mature in their craft, they can do more complex and more. They can do these different type of roles that challenges them, and I like seeing that from these actors who kind of have this one persona, but as they get older, you start to see them.
I don't even like hearing that no more. Like, she used to be a Disney person, or they came from Disney, or they came from High School Musical, and now that's no different than before I was an actor, I used to work at IHOP.
I know.
You just did something. What you were doing then is not indicative of what you can do, your ability right now.
Exactly. It's just that's your talent. You know?
So that when people are like, it came from Disney or High School Musical, I don't even think that should be
a thing.
Like, well, so that's they came from Disney and High School Musical. That's why I'm so surprised at where they are now. That don't mean shit anymore. Like I used to think about that when it was like Justin Timberlake and what he would do, but like now, especially seeing stuff like you said, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, like I don't think that holds any water, has anything to do with.
Absolutely.
Right now, but and the way that movie ended, I was like, damn, okay.
Okay. I know it's based on a graphic novel.
It is. I did not mention that, but it is based on a graphic novel, and I'm positive that is responsible for the tone and how this movie is shot, how the violence is depicted, because it becomes cartoonish at one point. Like there's this guy there interrogating, and like he gives him the information. And then, he doesn't. And the guy's like, you know what? Y'all just wasting time. I'm just going to shoot him. They shoot him. And then he shoots him. And then they go to walk out. The guy that was shot, he gasped. He wakes up. And he's not dead. So all four of the assassins turn around. And they just unloading this dude. And I'm talking about them unloading him was more and worse than when Clarence Boddicker and his gang unloaded on Alex Murphy. Dude, they shot this. It was worse than when the dude got... chopped up by Ed 209 in the boardroom when he was. Jesus. I'm talking about the unrated version.
Yeah, you know that's what I was thinking though.
They just lit this dude. He was just sitting there for like 40 seconds, just getting shot up. I'm like, damn, he died the first. Bruh.
He was doing the Harlem Shuffle.
Yeah, it was bad. But the movie it was violent like that. Like even Madds' character, like in the end when he gets caught and they're trying to get some information from him before he goes apeshit, he gets tortured like really bad, and he gets stabbed in the eye. Like I ain't talking about I'm talking about while he's chained up, the guy's pissed off because he's not exhibiting like he's feeling the pain as much as the guy would like. So he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe I gotta do something different. He just grabs his head and just sticks a knife in his eye. And I'm like, God damn! But it's badass because he gets this eye patch after that. And
I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, but and then the action sequences in it at the end, like that. Part in the trailer where he throws that fire extinguisher down the hall and shoots it, and it's a hand-to-hand scene. That scene is portrayed, but that's a brutal scene, but it's badass. Okay. It is badass. But
all right, I'll check it out.
It's worth checking out, but just know, I just want to warn you that the tone of it is
Yeah.
this if like going it with Smoking Aces in mind, and I don't mean everything about Smoking Aces is directly related to, or this movie is directly related to that in every sense, but tonally, like with the violence but then coming from a scene where we just executed this guy with 1,000,000 bullets, and then go to Vanessa Hudgens when she is doing her thing, in a dramatic moment, or even Madds, because when we cut from, it's only when we're with the eccentric group of hitmen that shit is crazy, but when we cut to Madds, his character, everything is slower and even keeled and more palatable, more normal.
So the thing, and I mean, you don't have to tell me if it's a spoiler, but I just had a question as far as like when they age out at 50 and they send someone to assassinate the retired hitman. Is it somebody from their organization, or do they outsource that? Because
it's the younger.
But if the younger if it's someone younger, then they know that once they age out, somebody's going to come and kill them. So I figure, okay, are they going to outsource that of another hitman organization to kill their people once they?
I think this group that they have, the younger group, that's all that they do is go get the older people. Go get the older assassins.
Do they tell them who they are? Because if I was them, I would be like, well, shit. I don't think that guy. Because Madds Mikelson wasn't expecting for them. He thought he was really retiring.
He wasn't expecting for them. He thought that he was retiring. But the lady who said that it's ill advised that you go after him, she knows Madds Mikelson, which means
she works for the.
She's in the same organization, so she knows that he's a hitman. So what they do, she even sets him up in the beginning. So she comes to him. She's like, I know you're about to retire in 2 weeks, but it came down from higher up. Before you go, we got this one last mission. We need you to go get this guy and take him out. And Madds walks away. He's like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm like, fuck. Because what was going to happen once he goes to get that guy was supposed to take Madds out, take Duncan out. It was a setup. So they were trying to kill him off rip before he even went to the cabin.
Okay.
And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they were like, oh, shit. Now we got to send the people to get him.
Yeah, so they probably keep all this stuff under wraps from their hitmen. So maybe when they retire, they don't think that somebody's going to come after them.
Right.
It's got to be something. Because I'm like, if they know what they're doing, like, do they tell the hitmen, oh, okay, yeah, this guy just retired from our business, so we got to go kill them.
So the group of hitmen that go get the retirees, the 50 and over, the 50 people, they're not in the same part of that organization
as the higher ups.
Right.
Okay, so they don't tell them. They're just like the workers. This is like a regular a regular like a regular job, so they tell somebody what to do.
Yeah, so because those eccentric assassins, they don't know what a badass that Duncan is. Mm-hmm. They don't know, like that lady knows, that it's ill-advised that they go after him. They just think, all right, he's a target. But they
don't know that Duncan worked for their group.
Well, see, that's the thing, because when they kill Johnny Knoxville, they know that they're killing him because he's 50.
Yeah,
they said something about his age. So what I'm saying is, you got a police force and then you got a SWAT team. They're both in law enforcement, but they both they serve two purposes.
Okay, yeah, I get
Madds
that.
Mikelson and Johnny Knoxville, they're part of the police force. These other assassins, they're the SWAT team. So the pension rules for the police force might be different for the SWAT team.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's two different facts. Because I'm just trying to see how that all makes sense. Like, it could be like the whole Looper thing where they know, okay, once we're out, we got 30 years, and I know my older self is going to come back and retire me. So I got 30 years to live, and I just accept that. Yeah. So I just didn't know if that was something they let them know up front.
Well, you know what? As crazy as that group is, I wouldn't be surprised if they told them, all right, when you turn 50, this is going to happen to you, right? You'll see when you see the movie. They're so fucking crazy. They're probably like with it. Like, all right, fuck it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just had that question. You were telling me that. But yeah, I'll check it out. The trailer looked pretty intense and pretty interesting. So
it's a lot more. The tone, I was shocked at the tone of it. I thought it was going to be like more serious, especially when I saw Madds Mikelson as cast as the lead. I was like, oh man, he's going to be one of those gritty Danish films that he does.
Yeah.
But nah, it wasn't that. It was vibrant. It was It has some humor in it.
Okay.
And the violence is cartoonish.
Okay.
So it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I can get with it.
This weekend, I guess what did you say come out?
Miss Bala, man.
Yeah.
Miss Bala. Genesis Rodriguez. What?
I'm not going to see.
Come on, man.
Do you like that trailer?
I like Genesis Rodriguez.
I'm faithful to Zazie Beetz, so I can't go see Miss Bala. Anyway.
Okay.
I guess what I'm looking forward to is checking out The Kingdom and doing our first recap of that.
Yeah.
And continuing I guess she's starting season 3 of Game of Thrones because this is one of the big seasons.
Yeah, coming up, man. As of this recording, we got 2 episodes left for season 2, and then we're in the fray, so to speak.
Oh, I like what you did there. Damn.
Yeah, season 3 is going to get pretty intense, and moving forward, even past that, it's going to get pretty intense. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to go back and recap all those episodes.
Yeah. You can follow us at ItModcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow MouthDork at MouthDork on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, and Untapped. You can follow Wife Dork at Sidewalk Siren and at Bake Dork on Twitter, Instagram, and she's at Sidewalk Siren on Letterboxd. Indie Dork is at WB Das on Twitter and Instagram. This guy is at The Turtle Dork on Twitter. Did I already say you first?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. He's at The Turtle Dork on Twitter, at The Turtle Dork 1 on Instagram, and then Brian William Young on Facebook because he can't get a unified social media handle.
I really can't.
And I'm Darren Smith, the Disco Dork on all social medias. That's going to do it for us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay tuned. Follow us on social media so you can get all the goodness from Sundance, from Mouth Dork and Wife Dork, and keep you up to date on the goings on and make you jealous. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And until next time.